Day to you, we are going to discuss about volcanoes, earthquakes, and mountain ranges. So I'm here. I will be teaching you about this. Your teacher for this subject, science for grade 10, teacher Edeline. So, do you know that Philippines is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire? Do you ever know why it is called Pacific Ring of Fire? When we say Pacific, so in the picture it shows a place or in a map wherein you see the red color. Yeah, red color means fire because there are triangles, small triangles, it means volcanoes. So in that place, in that point, there is volcanoes, active volcanoes. Since it is very hot and it's active, it's erupting, so its color is red. So that place is found in Pacific, Pacific. And it is called ring because it is surrounding. And fire means hot because of the volcanoes. So can you find where is Philippines? Okay. Actually, Philippines is in the line located in um, red color. So it is why it is called Philippines is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, Pacific Ring of Fire means it experiences often earthquakes. So there are movements of the ground, and you can see in the picture the road is cracking. So there's break, crack, or a break. There's a break. Okay, so when you feel that the land is moving, later on, when you go out and see what is happening, you will see breaks or crack on the roads or somewhere if it is near the epicenter. And then it often happens, there is happening eruptions of the volcano. And you see in the picture, volcano is erupting. So it's very huge movement, a very huge sound. You will feel also it because of the movement it created and other tectonic activities. So the plates, actually that is the part of the earth that you are standing. That is the plate. You can see, example, Philippines. It has many separated islands. Now, that place, or we call that plate, that is where we are standing. So these are the tectonic plates. And there are many activities happening and it's continuously moving. Now, how are the volcanoes, the mountains, and the geologic features are formed? Do you know why? Okay. So the Earth's lithosphere, lithosphere. This is a layer or the upper layer of the Earth. And that is what we call as the lithosphere. And the crust, this is the sign for crust. crust. It is made of different or variety of solid rocks like the sediments. Other name is igneous, and others are called metamorphic rocks. So it has a density, an average density. Do you know what is density? It means its weight is heavy. And if you say less dense, meaning it's light, less dense, it's light. But when we say dense or denser, it is heavy. So you can see in the picture the lithosphere. Lithosphere ranges or it measures from 10 kilometers to 200 kilometers. It's deep. And actually, there are two kinds of crust. The land. Okay, so first is the oceanic crust versus the continental crust. Continent meaning that is the land. Oceanic crust meaning that is the crust that you can see at the bottom of the ocean. So at the bottom of the ocean floor, we call that oceanic crust. Oceanic crust. So the first, you can see in the picture, oceanic crust and the continent. It means the land. See the difference. First, oceanic crust is more dense. More dense. Because it is made of basalt kind of rocks, and it is younger or newer rocks. Heavy. This is why it is found where? At the bottom of the ocean. And next is the continental crust. Why is it floating on top? Why? Because the continental crust is less dense. It's lighter, less dense. It is made of what kind of rock? It's granite rock. So since it is lighter, because it is older rocks. Again, oceanic crust found at the bottom of the ocean because it is more dense. But the continental crust is found at the top or the upper part of the earth because it is lighter. It is lighter and the rocks are older. So you see the difference of the two crusts? Next, what are the similarities of these two? Now, the oceanic and the continental crust are made of rocks which are solid and make of tectonic plates. Tectonic plates, which is the part of the lithosphere. Lithosphere, it's a layer at the top of the earth. Now you can see here in the picture, according to the plate tectonics model, the entire lithosphere of the Earth is broken into different plates, different parts. We call that as the plates. So you see, what are example of the plates that you can see in the picture? First is, let's have the Eurasian plate. I think it's the biggest plate. Eurasian plate. Next is, we have the African plate. So it's a group of different, um, numerous and different segments. We call them as plates. Next is the plate tectonic map. So this map shows the outer part of the Earth, the outer layer of the Earth. We called it as the lithosphere, which is broken up. We call that as tectonic plates. Okay, again, tectonic plates. So you can see also it's broad lines, it's very clear lines. We call that as plate boundaries. Now, in this picture, it shows the distribution of major earthquake or the epicenter. Epicenter. What do you mean by um, epicenter? This is the place wherein the focal or the focus of the movement of the ground. So in the map, you can see many black dots. So that is the location of earthquakes. Now, can you find where is Philippines? Okay. Now, do you see dots, black dots in the Philippines? Yes. And how many dots? A lot, right? There are many dots in the Philippines, meaning Philippines is having many lines, many parts of the Philippines will experience earthquake or movement of the ground. Now, picture 2 shows the distribution of the major active volcanoes. Now, do you see in the picture? Are there square, black squares? Yes, there is. In the Philippines, is there? Yes, there is. There's many. So meaning Philippines will also experience um, eruptions because Philippines have many volcanoes. Now figure 3 shows the distribution of major mountain belts of the world. Now in the world, so it's major. So you can see a lot of places having different mountain belts, mountainous areas. Here in the Philippines, there is also mountains, but not that major. It's not that tall as the other countries. Now, figure 4 shows the major plate tectonics. Plate tectonics. So there you can see many plates. So the places of the earth where most of the earthquakes originated, or some Mountains and volcanoes are formed, they show or they're marked as boundaries of every lithosphere or lithosphere.